up, ladies and gentlemen, FPS Mayo. Today I'm bringing you a video that is tips and tricks to help you with your accuracy, your precision, and it's going to help you win gunfights. And some of these I found out just from playing on my own, and some of these I think that you may not know or you may not realize that you're not doing during gunfights. And it's a bunch of tips. I think it's about 15. There might be a couple more in there extra, but the first one is knowing your gun. So if you've never used a gun before, you're not going to know how it's going to handle. So I try to use as many different guns as I can, but I'm going to be honest, I mostly main the M4, MP5, and the AX50, guns like that. So I know those guns really good, and I'm confident in my ability to absolutely melt with them when I want to. So what I mean by knowing my gun is that I know the attachments that I have on it, and I know how they're going to perform. I know how the M16 Grenadier barrel is going to perform with the monolithic, with 50 round mags, with the tactical foregrip, with no stock. I know exactly how that's going to handle compared to, say, if I had the Corvus Custom Marksman barrel. MP5, I know that this has a 45 round clip in it. I know it doesn't have the 10 mil rounds, so it's not going to have more recoil. I know how my gun is set up, and I set them up to my playstyle. So that is going to come down to messing around and your own preferences. Maybe you don't like either of these guns. They're very meta, but that's what it's going to come down to. You got to know the gun before you can even begin to practice working on your precision, your accuracy, because if you don't know how it's going to handle, this isn't going to help you. So you got to know the guns you're using. I'm going to stop saying that now because I've said you got to know your gun tons. Now, the first tip I'm going to give you is called centering, and you may have heard about this before, but I don't think people have explained it quite in the depth that I want to talk about it. So centering is you have your crosshairs on screen. You got one here, one there, and one there, and it creates a little circle in the middle. But in the middle of that circle, you have a dot. And people say, okay, you want to have your crosshairs where you think the person is going to be. You want to center, so you're not sprinting around corners. You have your when you're going around a corner, you have your crosshairs ready, or you have your crosshairs pointed to where you think someone's going to be. Or if you're jumping, or if you're moving, you should know where the enemies are going to be coming from based on how much you play this game. And the crosshairs, once you center them, and more specifically, once you center that dot, because once you center that dot, the aim assist in this game is so powerful that if you have that dot centered and someone runs around, it's already going to start dragging your scope. So if they're on that little dot in the middle, it's already going to start dragging your scope. And all you have to do is aim down sight, and it's going to pull a little bit. You're going to have to do some aiming, obviously. Aim assist doesn't do everything, but centering is huge. And I'll show some examples of how centering has won me several gunfights. It's coming up right now. So what you're about to see is me engage in a gunfight with a guy where I am pretty sure he's going to be coming around the corner towards me. And because of this, I don't go sprinting around the corner with my weapon up. Instead, I strafe around the corner with my crosshairs where I think he's going to be, and I'm easier to melt him. Right here, I'm going to be running around the corner. I put my gun down right here, and see, if I had my gun up, he might have killed me there. And that leads me into my next tip, is don't go frickin' sprinting everywhere. If you're sprinting around the map, desperate to get those kills, you're going to have your gun right up here, or you're going to have it down here, super sprint, tactical sprint, whatever the heck you're doing. If you're sprinting around, you're going to get lasered, because the time to kill in this game is so fast, so much faster than Black Ops 4, so much faster than other titles that I can remember in the past. You absolutely get melted in this game, and that's why accuracy is so important. So, not to say you can't sprint, but sprint smart. Don't sprint around corners. Don't sprint in front of head glitches. Don't sprint in places that you think you're going to get lasered. So try and be a couple steps ahead. So say you're on shoot house, and there you can go right, or you can go left, or you can go mid. You can sprint around those corners, but maybe jump or slide. And that leads me into my next tip. If you are going to jump or slide around corners, or if you are going to sprint around corners, then jump or slide. And I'll give some more advanced movement tips as well, such as bunny hopping, slide jumps, etc. But don't sprint around those corners, because you're going to get melted. You're going to have your gun up, like I say, and the time to kill, someone is going to be aiming down there, because this game is full of campers. Someone's going to be waiting for you to run around that corner. But if you jump or slide or do some more advanced movement skill around that corner, you're going to have a much higher percent chance. I think it's about a 30% higher chance of winning the gunfight versus just sprinting around the corner or even just strafing around the corner. So here's some examples of that. Oh, in this clip that's coming up, you're going to see where there's a guy. I know he's coming, I can hear him, and he can probably hear me because he's running towards me. But what I do is, instead of running down the stairs directly to engage the gunfight, instead of doing that, this is coming up right here. So there's a guy coming to the right. I can hear him, he's coming, so instead of engaging directly down those stairs, I jump over him, see, and I'm going to win the gunfight. I'm now behind him. And that's an extreme example because you're not always going to be able to jump over someone, but here's another example where it's worked. So there's going to be a guy that's going to be coming towards me in a sec. Jumped. Little jump. I know what way I'm jumping, so I can adjust my gun accordingly. He started shooting me first, and he didn't know which way I was going to jump. So I won the gunfight. And here's an example of a drop shot, another advanced movement technique that's going to win you so many gunfights. That was a little bit slower of a drop shot, but still, even that crouching movement is going to help so much. So drop shot, jump, slide, anything you can do is like that is going to help you win gunfights so much more. So know your guns, do these advanced movement techniques, center your guns. The next tip I'm going to be bringing you to do with your sensitivity settings and some button layouts. So I run tactical. I also have a scuff controller though. That's going to be later on in the video. So I run tactical, which means that I can crouch and drop shot with my right thumb without removing it from the stick. Now, I also play on 14 horizontal and 12 vertical sensitivity, which is insanely high. I understand that, but I'll talk more about it in a second. Now, ADS sensitivity multiplier low zoom is 0.8. Now, that's personal preference, and 1.2 for high zoom multiplier. Now, you're going to have to play around with these on your own, and I recommend doing so in a bot lobby. So set up a custom game and find what sensitivity settings work for you. Now, most pro players, I'm going to say, actually, this is a fact, they play from around the realm of 3 to 10 sensitivity. Now, I'm not a pro player, and I like my sensitivity a little bit higher, and I've learned to play with that. Now, I don't recommend that you do this unless you're comfortable with it. I'd start lower. Again, go into a bot lobby and find out what works for you. But sensitivity plays a huge factor, because if you're too slow, you're not going to be able to turn around and find that enemy that's behind you, or turn and snap on them. But if your aim sensitivity is too high and you hear someone behind you, you're going to frickin' do a full circle and you're going to miss them completely and you're going to get lasered anyways. So you got to find that sweet spot of accuracy directly in front of you and being able to turn and snap on that target as well. So, like I said, I have a scuff controller. So this button is jump for me, this is reload, this is switch weapons, and this is mount, I believe. It's hard to remember without actually doing it. It's more muscle memory than anything. But if you are really serious about developing your aim, I would seriously recommend getting an aftermarket controller such as Scuff, or I would recommend Astro, because I've already sent this away once and it was $300 Canadian, which is absolutely absurd for a controller. And the L3 wore on it like immediately. Some of the buttons are a little bit loose. I really wouldn't recommend the Scuff controller, but one of my friends has an Astro C40, I believe is the name of it, and he says that he loves it. But these buttons help because they allow you to keep your thumb on the aim stick here, which is so important. You can also see I have the stick extender, which is another good thing for aiming because it gives you more room to aim. But having these buttons allows you to keep your thumb on the stick at all times, so you never have to move your thumb off and then try and snap and then you're slipping all over the place. So I would just all around recommend getting it. It comes in a cool box like this. I got the Scuff Impact. You don't need to get one with 4 paddles like I have. It's a hard learning curve, but once you learn it, it makes it seriously worth the while. Now, another thing, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty because we're all supposed to be social distancing right now. So I thought to myself, hey, I'm going to go get mouse and keyboard and I'm absolutely going to shred. That is not the case. I don't know what I was thinking, but I went and bought mouse and keyboard thinking that I was going to take my already good skills in this game and take them to the next level with mouse and keyboard, but that is not the case. I've been playing with controller for about 10 years now, since the PS3 first came out on Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, all those OG games. So all that muscle memory that you have built has been growing and getting better over time. So unless you've played on a PC in the past or you have some experience, I would really not recommend switching because it's not going to benefit you. I played one game and immediately returned it. Now, I got carried away. I forget what tip we're on. I'm going to say that's tip 6 now, okay? Sounds good? So the next tip that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to go into a custom lobby because it'll be easier to create a scenario where this will occur, is called target prioritization. So what I mean by this is, say you're shooting at someone, that person realizes they're getting lasered, they go back for a stim, someone else new runs around the corner, and the guy that you were just shooting at is now running away. Well, you don't need to keep shooting at the guy that you were just shooting at because he's now running away because he's not looking at you, so he can't shoot you. You got to prioritize which person has the highest threat, who has the high ground, who's more likely to kill you fastest, and you need to eliminate that target first. Because if you choose the one that is less likely to eliminate you, the one that's more likely to eliminate you is going to kill you, and you're going to get no kills. So with target prioritization, you can either maybe get one kill by prioritizing, changing, and shooting the higher prioritized target, or you can get 2 kills perhaps because you prioritize properly. So I'll show you what this looks like in game here. So in this clip, you'll see here, first guy, second guy, I prioritized, and I didn't exactly take out the guy that was the most likely to kill me because that other guy on the left was shooting me first, but what I did was I prioritized my aim. So instead of one guy here, and just spraying back and forth in between one of them, I committed to killing one guy and then snapped over to the next target. So that's another part of target prioritization that is really important. Don't go all clusterfuck. I know it's hard, especially if there's 3 players, but if you're just spraying all over the place, you're going to get no kills. So especially if you come against 3 people, you're going to get no kills. But if you just aim for one guy, and if you have the ability to prioritize levels of threat, then you're going to be a lot more successful. See, in that clip too, right there was a guy back who was shooting at me, so I backed behind cover. There was another guy rushing me, so I can take out the guy who's rushing me, and then I can pop out again from the guy who's I've now backed myself up behind cover. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I realized that wasn't exactly 15 tips that I labeled 1 through 15. It was just kind of, they were all in there. So sorry if that title was misleading to you, but I hope this video helped you, and I hope you can apply some of these tips into your gameplay. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, smack that like button. Smack it like a hook. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, smack that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, smack that subscribe button like a fly on a wall. And thank you so much. I'm actually applying soon to be monetized, so you guys have helped me get really right where I want to be. I've been working on this dream of mine for a while now to become a YouTube gamer, and here I am. I'm going for monetization. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. FPS Mayo out.